Morning, everyone. It is Sunday. I'm chilling out in the recliner. Let me get centered here. This camera's kind of weird. I got to point the computer at an angle to get me centered. Anyway, it's Sunday. Just dropped off Mrs. Rush and Lil Man at the VFW. I have to work today. It's Sunday. I got to work on Sunday. I don't want to work on Sunday. I'm chilling out in my recliner until I have to go in. I have to go in early today. Usually have to go in early to or work on this a different day than normal when it's a holiday. So we'll see if anybody comes in today. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I need to get back to doing regularly because I paid for this. So we'll see if anybody comes in. I'm just going to kind of chill out. We got football today. Hope you guys enjoyed games. It's kind of a nice day today. It's cool out, but it's nice. So there we go. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Yep. So no little man right today. So he's got to go to the babysitters. We both have to work today. Kind of stinks. Don't like working on Sundays. I just got up too. Just dropped them off. So we can say, well, we got something to be thankful for today. We got our family. We probably have some good food too. Yep. So gotta work. Browns versus Eagles today. I think the Browns will take that one. I don't know. They're both kind of mid-range right now. I'm a Titans fan, and they play the Ravens. And the way the Titans are looking right now, I think the Ravens are going to wipe them up. Sorry to say that, but I'm more of a college football fan than I am NFL. And Mrs. Rush got me a new coffee cup today. Or not today, but I'm drinking out of the new coffee cup. Oh, that's good coffee. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't normally work on Sundays. This kind of stinks, but I go in early and I get off early. I've been playing supervisor here lately because my supervisor had to go out of town. He had to take his daughter down to Denver. She has lupus, so they were getting some tests done. And so I've been playing supervisor. It's kind of cool. I was going to make a video about doing that. I did a vlog. And so I did a vlog on it. And I'm kind of debating whether I should make it into a video or not. I kind of ramble for about 15, 20 minutes. Is it worthy of putting it on YouTube? I don't know. I haven't really watched it. I just put out a video yesterday of us finishing up our trip. That was so cool. Linda, that was beautiful sight. We had a camera, our main camera, and the battery went down. Mrs. Rush said she charged it, but she didn't charge it all the way. And she was snapping pictures left and right. And when we drove by the Tetons, when you're coming south from Yellowstone into the Tetons, very beautiful. Very beautiful. If that drive is so scenic, it's majestic. You can, and we didn't have time to get out and really see the sights because we were trying to do this long trip in a short amount of time because it was kind of a spur of the moment. Let's just go. And we didn't leave out until, what was it, probably about 5 o'clock in the afternoon because I overslept. And I guess Mrs. Rush didn't expect to go. I was like, let's go anyway. But it was fun. That drive into the Tetons. Even Mrs. Rush, she's like, this is so beautiful. She had never been out there either. The Browns got a couple of injuries, COVID. Yeah, the Titans are the same way. They got some injuries. That defense, defense has a lot of holes in it. Oh, yeah? Is he putting them out on YouTube? Yep. That'd be awesome if he is putting it out on YouTube. I'll check that out. Um, Spartan loves watching those kids' channels on YouTube. If you ever get a chance, Linda, do it. It is well worth it. Wish we could have stopped, because when you're coming south from Yellowstone, there is a lake. You know, you see the Tetons, you see the pictures, you see it on camera or on video. It looks exactly like it is. But what you don't really see is the lake that surrounds it. There's a lake that's probably about, I say, a good 10 miles wide or long, that runs along the length of it when you first come into the Tetons. He should. He should do YouTube, as long as he's got a, as long as his mom and dad are there to monitor him and help him out. There's a lot of kids that put out their own content. Like, one of Spartan's favorites is Ryan's Toy Review, or Ryan's World. The kid's been doing it since he was, well, with his help of his parents, been doing it since he was probably 5 or 6 years old. I believe he's probably closer to 10 now. And he's got 3 or 4 million subscribers. Kid's exploded. He's got his own toys. He's marketed, I think they market their toys through Target. And he does toy reviews. He plays really good content for kids. I like his mom, too. His mom's really funny and cool. So, no Little Man today. Kind of stinks. I forgot about this when I scheduled this, that I'd probably be working today and we wouldn't have him. But I only got a 3-day work week, and then 5 days off. That's going to be nice. Got to get some stuff done while I'm off. I've been putting off a lot of things. I've been procrastinating. This working the night shift makes me lazy, because I don't get up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, especially up here in South Dakota, it's already dark by 4. So I got to work on the wife's Jeep. Something wrong with it. It won't stay running. I think it's a fuel pump. What does Alex like to watch? I only got one person in here today. I got to start doing these a little more often. I'm afraid to step on anybody's toes and get into the schedule, but I guess I just got to do it. If I step on people's toes, I step on people's toes. I don't want to. The reason why I kind of wanted to do this one a little bit earlier, I know people are probably at Sunday service. Monsters. I don't know if I know that one. Yeah, people are probably at Sunday service, and then they're going to rush home to watch their football. And I got to head out of here. I got to leave here in 2 hours to go to work. But at least today I go in at 1 and I get off at 11:30. And then I got to see if I got to come straight home to pick up the wife because she's been using my truck. And I've been catching a ride with a guy that lives here in town to go to the mill. I got to try to get that Jeep fixed. I think it's a fuel pump. That's what I think it is. And we don't really have much planned going on. I got to try to find some ways to make some content. Try to get this channel to grow. I'm up to over 100 subscribers on this, but I haven't really had that much things for content because it's going into winter and it's really not much. I got an axe I'm going to restore, so I'll probably do videos on that. Unless that axe I found out in the woods, a little short axe, and I'll refurbish that thing and do a video on that as I refurbish it. I should claim it. 10 o'clock hour. Yeah, maybe it'll help get this channel growing. And as Little Man gets older, I can do a lot more content. He's starting to speak a little more clearly. And I can let him take over being the star being the host on the camera. Mrs. Rush said she would do videography for me. I just talked to another fella. I'm thinking about starting a secondary channel. And this is going to be more of a guy's channel. But I'm thinking about it. I talked with him Friday night, and he said he'd be down with it. But, we both work full-time jobs. So, and then plus with me having the night schedule and him having the day schedule, it'd probably be like a once a month upload for scheduling. So noon Eastern. Yep. 9 Pacific. So yes, all whiskey and barbecue channel. Just travel around the United States testing out whiskey and barbecue. I could do that. How you doing, Derek? Good morning. Let's see. Let's drop a link. You guys want to come up and talk for a little while? I got about an hour. We can enjoy our coffee. This is that new coffee mug my wife got me. And it's the Minor Brewing Company, South Dakota. I gotta tell her to quit getting me coffee mugs. She seen that I put that on the up on the channel, and she's been buying me coffee mugs left and right now. And I think we've probably got 30 coffee mugs sitting in our cupboard now. Come on, Melissa. Don't need that. You got a headache? Water, bud. Water, water, water. Yeah, I had a couple of beers last night, and when I was watching your show, and I fell asleep right after you guys got off. Still in bed. I hope you're not hurting too bad after that little spill you took last night. Yep, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day out here. It's cold though. It's in the 20s, but the sun's out today, so it might warm up a little bit. I haven't been paying attention to the weather. Hey, Susan, how you doing? Oh, you hit your head too. Mm, that sucks. Well, I hope you're okay. Maybe you can drink some of that rye whiskey tonight and make yourself feel better. So, yeah, Susan, I know. Never have enough storage. I got this thing sitting on my belly and it's rocking up and down. Let me get it. Let me sit up straight. There we go. So, there's not really much going on here in this neck of the woods. One thing I have been really battling here lately is trying to get Lil Man potty trained. I'm ready to get that boy out of diapers. He's just not taking to it for some reason. We got some family friends that watch him on the weekends and during the week while we're working. And they say he's doing pretty good potty training with them. But when he's here at the house, he doesn't. I mean, yeah, if when we give him a bath and say, "Need you use the potty?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah," and he thinks it's a game, but he doesn't go to the potty. So it's kind of proven difficult here lately. I don't know if he understands. We show him videos on how to do it. We got, you know, one of the ladies that watches him. She's in her late 60s and she's got grandkids and she's got, of course, kids that she's potty trained. And she says it's a tough one. It is tough. He doesn't understand it for some reason. And well, I know he's only 3, but he talks well. Cold and rainy in southern Indiana. Ooh. That's a cold and rainy in southern Indiana. That's a different type of cold. Yeah, my parents, if you're in southern Indiana, I know basically where you're at. My parents grew up in Owensboro, Kentucky, right across the river from Evansville. That's a different type of cold. I grew up down south too, and I understand it. It's cold here, but you go east or around bodies of water where it's humid while it's cold, that's a different type of cold. Hopefully. I'm ready to get that boy out of diapers. His diapers aren't cheap anymore. $30 for a pack of diapers now. It's ridiculous. Excuse me. Dang old sawdust. Happens every morning. Yeah, I've been hitting the gym and getting some gains. I hit the gym every night after work. I haven't been in since Tuesday, and I can already tell. I haven't been to the gym, and I enjoy it because I can go in there and work out, and nobody's there. It's at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in there, and I usually stay for about 30 minutes, maybe sometimes an hour, and nobody's in there. And I like this place a lot because I can link up my phone to their sound system and play my music and just sit in there and just relax. I don't have to rush to get out of there and hit the bench press, hit the squat. I can't really squat that much anymore. I got bad knees, too many sports injuries, especially my left knee. I think I'm going to have surgery on it soon. I'm pretty sure I got a torn meniscus in it. Yeah, Spartan is, he's turned 3 in June. So he's almost 3.5. He'll be 3.5 next month on the 8th. And hopefully we get him potty trained. I've heard some kids not being potty trained till they're 5 years old. I've heard some kids getting potty trained when they're 2 years old. So really guess it depends on the individual. Yeah. This place is fairly new, but they've already built up a good clientele because they're in between Custer and Rapid City. There's no gyms. We got a YMCA here in Custer, but that place is always packed because there's no other gym here in town. Well, there is, and that place is run down. It's probably got 5 members, I believe. But the Custer, the Custer YMCA does a lot of things for the community, and it's always packed. Every time I used to work out there, and every time I go into that gym, it was always busy. And they got this basement weight room, and that thing is just jam packed full of equipment. You can barely walk in between the machines and the weight benches and the squat racks because they got so much, because they're so popular around here. You know, this is a small town. We only have about 1,800 people in this town. But everybody goes there to get their exercise. Other things to think about? Yeah, it's mostly food. What is he going to eat? That boy loves to eat. Always saying he's hungry. I'm hungry. I'm more hungry. I'm hungry. The boy's a mess. So, yeah, got to work today. Don't want to work. Maybe I should play the lotto. Be an idiot like that. Spend $5 a week on the lotto. Hopefully I'll win, so I don't have to work anymore. I don't know. If I won, I've often thought about that. What would I do if I won the lottery? Would I continue to work or not? It is cluttered. And they have a really good trainer there. Guy was in the military. I forget which branch of service he was in. He's older. He's in his 60s. I think he was Army. This is a big military town for some reason. A lot of people retire from the military and come here. We have a lot of veterans. What else can we talk about? I'm still waking up. Just forgive me. I've only been up for about 40 minutes. I forgot I had to do this. I set the schedule, but this was before they told me that we were going to be working on Sunday. So I'll get my coffee in. I bought some of that. Derek, you'll appreciate this. I bought some of that Black Rifle coffee. Again, that's good stuff. I got the dark roast blend this time. It's not that dark. It's more of a medium blend. Yeah, but it's good. They do Colombian and Brazilian coffee beans. It's a lot better than Folgers. Folgers is our go-to. But this on the weekends, I'll drink that Black Rifle coffee. It's good stuff. Really good. I need a refill too. About out. Derek, your Raiders play today? Indeed, it is. Kind of stinks because they're showing here for the morning game. They're showing Falcons and Saints here. And that's the only one they're showing. They always black out CBS. If there's not a local game, they black out CBS quite a bit. Now, Fox is pretty good. They'll show out of market games. Work nightmares. Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Who they play? I think it's the Chiefs this week, isn't it? Chiefs? They beat them last time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, what else? I'll get up in there, get some lumber cut again. I might do another video of cutting lumber. I think I'm going to do a video because my boss says he doesn't care if I do some footage inside there. We're really not supposed to video and have anything, but he says he really doesn't care. And I think it kind of gets out because there's a program that the actual company that owns Chiefs at 5. Oh, I wish I had internet at work. I could stream that game over the radio. But we live in such a the sawmill's in a dead zone. It's right between two mountains. Can't get signal unless you step into a certain part of the log yard. But the company's kind of doing a program. It's called We the Forest. We have a lot of outside influences when it comes to logging within the Black Hills. And the Norbeck Society and what's the other society? It's another conservation group. It's putting a lot of pressure on the U.S. Forest Service, trying to keep us from logging. And they think that logging industry hurts the environment, and that's far from the truth. We actually help the environment. If you don't steward your forests where you're around, especially when you got people that are actually living in it, and Derek, you can attest to this, you're going to have wildfires. Wildfires are natural, but how do you mitigate those wildfires? We get them here, and they're pretty good, but they don't spread widespread, kind of like California, Oregon, and Washington, because we're allowed to thin the forest. And we're allowed to clean up the fuel. And we still have forest because the wildfires is a natural part of going through and cleaning up its own mess, pretty much. And it is. And if you're a good steward, I actually volunteered with the U.S. Forest Service a couple of years ago to go on to attend the U.S. Forest Service side of the Black Hills, because it's kind of separated into two groups. We have Custer State Park, which is over 77,000 acres, I believe. And it's fairly big state park. And then you got 3 million plus acres of national forest. So I was going to volunteer, but they never got back to me on that for help cleaning up and making. You pretty much just make slash piles is what you do. And I can do it right outside my back door. Well, I don't really have a back door. I got front door and a front door. But just this way, probably about 80 feet where I'm pointing, that's national forest. That's where I do a lot of my videos. That's national forest. And this spring, after the snow melt, we're going to go up in there because it's a popular spot for tourists where UTVs, ATVs, and dirt bikes and mountain bikers and hikers. Well, people aren't really responsible because last time we went through there was a lot of trash. People littering. I can't stand litter. I can understand if it's an accident and you don't realize it, but people litter on purpose. So we're going to go up in there and just kind of do a walkthrough and pick up some of that litter. And I'm thinking about, because it's trail riding, and I'm thinking about making a sign that says, pick up your litter. Make sure you police your litter. If you got it in the back of your UTV and it's bouncing around, have it stowed away. I mean, there's beer cans, food wrappers, plastic bottles. And it just irks me. I wish people were more responsible when it comes to picking up that stuff. So we're going to go back there probably the spring after the snow melts. We don't have any snow on the ground. It's kind of been warm here lately. We had snow for probably about 2 weeks, and then this past week it got up in the 50s, so it was nice. And yep, they litter because they are lazy. Now, all it takes is, when you buy something, you go to the convenience store, they ask you if you want a bag or not. And if you're going out and about, say, yeah, I want a bag, so you can stow it away. Most people carry stuff with them that has storage, like a backpack or bag or, a cooler or something. You can stow it away, take it out and put it in the trash. Find a place for it. And I will be right back. I am out of coffee. Back. Oh, yeah. Good old sawdust. Oh. So what are you guys thankful for? You got Thanksgiving coming up? Got any big plans? Family coming over? My dad is actually going down to, he's flying down to Owensboro. He's leaving out tomorrow, him and his girlfriend. And they're flying to Owensboro. They're going to be there for a whole week. I wish I could go. I haven't been to Owensboro in, it's been, last time I was down there was probably 2015. That's what I'm thinking. Look at me looking for my memory. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, bud? Glad you can join us. Roy and Becky, thank you for dropping in. Great to see you. Yeah, we are going to, I was telling Derek and Tanya this last night, we are going to spend our day at the VFW and have Thanksgiving dinner there. A lot of people are staying, not having family. I hope you're okay, Derek. And a lot of people aren't having family coming in due to this COVID thing, which is a shame, but it's understandable. If they want to be safe, that's their choice. But the VFW said, "Hey, we'll have our own little dinner," and the VFW community is real tight. We are all pretty good friends. We do stuff together outside of going in and having a few drinks, and we have a roundtable group. They're pretty tight. The roundtable group is exactly as it sounds. There's a roundtable that one of our locals, God rest his soul, passed away unexpectedly, and he was very popular within the community. He was a auto body guy, mechanic, and he passed away suddenly. And so they made him died of smoke inhalation. Yeah. And so they made him one of our other guys in the community, made him a round table. So that we call them the round table group. And they get together every weekend. And him and his widow, they get together and they talk about good old times. Yeah, so we're going to go out there, and everybody that's going to the VFW is going to bring a menu item, and we're in charge of rolls. That's what we have to bring. Yeah, easy enough. I was kind of hoping to do something a little more, maybe like a green bean casserole. We tried something pretty cool. We did a hybrid. We did tater tot and green bean casserole a couple of months ago. You should try that. It's really good. We do the ground beef and tater tots and green beans and onions and cheese, Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, it's really good. You should try it. So, and we're going to go for probably about another 15 minutes. Try to get some time in this thing. I think I'm going to claim this 10 o'clock spot on Sundays. Today's not too good because I got a lot of things on my mind. Got to fix that Jeep. I got to figure out what's wrong. I think it's the fuel pump. I got a fuel filter for it. It runs for about a second. Kenneth, you should know about this. It runs for about a second and then shuts off. So yeah, I think that's pretty common. They were trying to get my dad to join because my dad's a vet and he served in Vietnam, and he didn't want to join. And it's kind of bad because he about got into a altercation with one of the ex commanders of this VFW because my dad didn't really care to join. We like to go down there and have a couple of beers, and being my wife works there too. And they were constantly trying to get my dad to join. And my dad says he doesn't really care to join. And, all the members, it's because my dad's cheap. My dad's really cheap. He could, so to say, as the saying goes, squeeze a nickel to the buffalo farts. That's how cheap my dad is. So he just doesn't want to pay the money to pay the dues to join. But the guy said, "Well, I don't believe you served." And my dad's like, "Really?" So my dad steamed over that for a long time because that's kind of a insult to people that actually have served. And someone said, a fellow vet saying, "Well, I don't believe you've served." I mean, why do you want to be like that? Just because you don't want to join the VFW? It is. Should try it. Yeah, just mix the recipes together. That's really good. Yeah, it's the same way here, Roy. Same way here. They are cliquey, but we all get along pretty good. Because this is a smaller community, and the VFW here does a lot of things for the community. Especially veterans, they help them out. They you get your older veterans, and they need medical services. They have a van that they'll take them to the VA or up to Rapid to the hospital up in Rapid. They do a lot of things. Let's bring in Kenneth. How you doing, Kenneth?
Hello, everyone. Doing all right by yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Maybe you can help me out with this dilemma I got on this Jeep. So basically, this Jeep will run for about 2 seconds and shut off, and I cannot hear the fuel pump running, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it's electrical because electrical parts are going bad because wife says that the lights, when she turns her lights on at night, her radio cuts out.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not electrical, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably the fuel pump.
As if you can't hear the fuel pump and the tank when you first turn your ignition on, then more than likely it's fuel pump itself.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm thinking.
depend because you should on most vehicles that I have been around that's had the electric fuel pump in the tank. Most of them that I've heard, when you first turn the key, you'll hear it buzz, you'll hear it buzz,
Yep.
and then once it stops, and that's when you can go ahead and turn your motor over.
Right. And it's weird because I can't tell if because it's getting fuel. Of course, it's fuel injected. It's getting fuel, but it cuts out after probably about a second or two of running. So
Mm-hmm.
it's weird. Most fuel pumps, when I've ever had them go out, you just
And it
don't
also
get
could
any.
be the fuel pump regulator as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm thinking it might be that. I don't hear it running. So I'm just going to go. I went ahead and got a fuel filter, and I've got to order the fuel pump because they don't have one here in town. And because
And you might as well go ahead and also change that fuel pump regulator as well.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Go ahead and change it all out at one time. That way, you'll be done with it, and you won't have shouldn't have to worry about it for a good while.
Yeah, it's a 90, so good
Yeah,
motor, 6-cylinder inline six, good motor.
yeah. We had a 90 model pickup truck. It had it actually had dual tanks on it.
Oh, really?
So and it had the 4.9 liter 300 inline six motor in it.
Mm-hmm.
But how I knew that it was actually a V8 was it used to be a V8 was because it had dual tanks in most. And I've learned that especially in your Ford vehicles and your trucks and stuff, most of your V8s had two tanks,
Right.
had dual tanks.
Yep.
And so what they did was they just so more likely it probably had the 302 in it, and
Uh-huh.
then they just converted it into a instead of a 8 cylinder, they just converted it into a six.
Yeah, they probably had a bad motor and was dropping a new motor, and that's all they had.
Yeah,
Yeah. I got a V6. I got that EcoBoost.
yeah.
This is a fast truck too. Twin turbo. I like it.
My mechanic that works on our vehicles for us, he said he's heard that those inline sixes, those 300 inline sixes, are pretty good motors. He said
Yeah.
he's heard people, depends on how they take care of them. He's heard people have over 500,000 miles on them things.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Yeah, because you don't those inline sixes. Excuse me. You don't have as much torquing as like a V6 or V8, and so because they're inline, you don't have that hard engine. That thrusting the. You don't have as many parts moving around and the torquing like that, so they last a little bit longer. Yeah, that inline six is good. Those are good motors. I had a Jeep like my wife's there for a long time. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's asking if that's in an F50, F-150. Dual
Yeah.
tanks probably that
Yeah.
was probably an F-250.
Actually, this truck was it was an F-150.
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sadly, we wrecked it. I guess it's been about, I don't know, about 4 or 5, maybe even longer than that, years ago now. But
mm.
it had to go bye to the crusher because there was no there was no saving that one.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to run for about 5 more minutes. I'm going to cut this off before the top of the hour, so you guys can get to watching your football, get over and get that done. Yeah, we're running a few more minutes. Yeah, I think that's pretty good advice on that regulator. I might go ahead and do that. I just had to drop about $400 into my truck, get the transmission serviced because it had a stuck bolt on there, and it took them over an hour to get it off.
Did you say
Even
that your mechanic that you took your cars to, he passed away or something?
no, this Bob, he was a mechanic. He was a body guy. He passed away a couple of years ago. It was suddenly he had a heart attack in the middle of the night and passed away. He wasn't my mechanic.
Oh, okay.
We actually got 3 mechanics I take my business to, but the one I usually go to, they're more affordable, and so they're always busy. It's hard to get an appointment with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they do good work. Real nice guy.
It sounds about like my mechanic I take our vehicles to, because when he does good business, he stays pretty full,
Yep.
and
Mm,
he's and he gets behind a lot and stuff, and due to the holidays and stuff, and due to this pandemic, it's put him behind on some things. Yes, on fuel injection systems. Yes, you do have to drop that tank unless you can. Now, some vehicles, now not very many, but some have got like a little door in behind the back seat, and you can go in behind the back seat and go through that little door and go and pull it out that way, pull the fuel pump out that way without dropping the tank. Because my cousin, he had I think it was a little I think it was a little station wagon, little Ford Escort
Oh
station
yeah,
wagon, and it had like a little door in the.
I might do a video on this one. I might mount the GoPro to my face and get up underneath that Jeep. But I believe this one, I got up underneath there and kind of looked at it and see what I was working with, and I believe this one's accessible. I don't have to drop the tank on it. It's right up front towards the. It's right over the rear differential. So I think I can get to it. I kind of glanced at it. I didn't really get up underneath there because it was parked at wife's work, and we put a tow strap on it and towed it home.
Now, if it's carburation, you got a manual fuel pump on the side of your engine block.
Yep. Yep. But this is fuel injected. Excuse me. It's fuel injected, and it's a 90 model, and I hope the fuel injection hasn't gone bad on it either. We tried to, I get her to drop some fuel system cleaner every so often, and they run a lot of that ethanol up here.
Yeah.
So that just gums up your system. So you got to flush out your fuel system. We use seafoam mostly. Run that through about every 4 or 5 full tanks. It works pretty good. I use it in all my vehicles. I run it through my motorcycle and my quad.
Yeah, and that also that fuel injector cleaner is pretty good too.
Yeah. I did about 3 years ago. I ran that seafoam spray, and you run it straight through the throttle body, through the intake.
Yeah.
And it's got a little straw that sticks out, and you rev up the engine to about 2,000 RPMs and keep it there, and just dump that bottle into it. And the amount of gunk that came out of that exhaust was amazing. It was black smoking for probably because it takes a while. It takes about 10 minutes to do that. Mineral spirits. I've never thought about that.
We use that spray can, that carburetor cleaner that you can spray down in your carburetor,
Yep.
but you gotta be careful and not let it catch fire.
Yeah, I believe that.
Goes, but yeah, you gotta rev that engine up when you use that too, because if you don't, it's just gonna kill it.
Right. Yeah. You run it into mineral spirits. I have to think about that.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. I've heard of using mineral spirits for your cutting boards, but never on your vehicle.
I'm not even sure what mineral spirits are really.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I don't know how to explain it. Go look it up. Your hardware store usually carries it. I've always heard for using it for cutting boards and woodwork.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a treatment. You can coat your wood in, kind of like what is this stuff?
Mineral spirits is the same as STP carburetor injector cleaner. Just cheaper to buy by the gallon. Okay.
Derek says he's been through 3 pumps on his GMC. I've been through one on my old Blazer. You got to drop the tank on that, but you can. I've heard a lot of people just cutting access panels. You ever heard that, Kenneth? People cutting access panels because most of your GMs, they're on the top of the tank and they hang down in there, and they'll just cut an access panel.
I hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah, they'll cut an access panel to get to it without having to drop the tank, especially if you got a full tank and it goes out. That's a lot of weight. You have to pretty much drain it.
But yeah, it's and them fuel pumps ain't cheap either.
No, they're not.
They I could buy a bit. I could buy a manual fuel pump cheaper than I can that electric fuel pump that goes in the tank.
Yeah, let me look up how much the wife says. I haven't priced one. Cherokee.
Well, I think last one we bought, they cost us anywhere between $200 to $400 the last time we bought one.
Well, I guess it depends on how good you want it. What I'm seeing on here is they range anywhere. Well, this one's got one. Well, that's a sending unit. It's not the pump. Pump and sender assembly, $144. That's through Parts Geek. 1A Auto has it for $70. So it's broad range. For heat, I use isopropylene. Oh, are you saying to cut down on fuel line freeze up? Yeah. Yep. A lot of people do that. I actually have a coworker that did that in his Blazer when he used to have it. Yeah. What was that? I'm trying to think of that oil that we use to do our wooden handles for like shovels and axes. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. Yes, sir. Love that Black Rifle coffee. That's some good stuff. It's a little more spendy, but I think it's worth it if you just drink it every now and then.
Black Rifle coffee?
Yeah. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah, I am.
You should try it. It's a little more spendy. It's for a pound, it's about anywhere from $12 to $15 for a pound of coffee. But I drink it on the linseed oil. That's it. Yeah, linseed oil. That's what I use. You use that on your wooden handles for your axes or your shovels or your rakes and stuff like that. Makes them last longer. You strip that varnish off of it, sand it off, and then coat that in there. I learned to do that a few years ago from YouTube. So it makes them last longer. Yeah, Black Rifle coffee. I got the what is it? The Bold blend.
Yeah.
It's a darker roast, but it's more like a medium roast. It's kind of like Folgers. The AK blend, what is it called? AK. Another word that comes to it. Man, my memory's getting bad. But it's really good stuff. That AK blend, oh, that's good coffee. That's worth it.
I heard Van Life with Gina Payne talk about that Jack Daniels coffee.
Yeah. I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to run if you got a fuel pump. Yeah. Also, I've heard from a lot of mechanics, if you get below a quarter of a tank, that fuel also works as a coolant for your fuel pump. Keeps it cool. And so you don't want to get below a quarter tank too often.
That's the reason why a lot of them fuel pumps decided to quit, because a lot of people, they will run them until they're about completely empty quite often. I know a lot of people that do it that way.
Yeah, I rarely get below a quarter tank, rarely get below a half a tank. I'm always, because I never know, you never know when you're going to have to get on the run. So I like to keep it full, you know.
I've always learned the fuller you keep it, the better off you are.
Yep. You know, if you have an emergency and you have to go somewhere, you don't want to be stuck where you've only got a little bit of fuel in there and you have to stop for gas, or, you know, if you're trying to run from the cops, you need a full tank. I'm not going to run from the cops. Well, I think I'm going to end it so we can get up here and watch some football. I got to start getting ready for work. I don't want to work. It's Sunday. I'm not supposed to work on Sundays. But I got to.
Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, no problem, Kenneth. Anytime. I'm going to start doing this more often on Sundays because I did pay for the StreamYard. So I need to get my money's worth. So hope you
bye,
guys,
everyone in the chat, and I will see you around in other live streams.
Yeah, go ahead. And we'll end it for today. And I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. I might do a live from the VFW. Raining hard. Ugh. In Cleveland. Yeah. Yep. Stay dry. Stay safe. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving. I might go live from the VFW on Thanksgiving just for a few minutes to let you see what's going on there, or just do a video. Don't know. But I hope you guys have a good Sunday. Keep everybody in your prayers. Derek, take care of yourself. Take care of that head. Roy, Becky, thank you for stopping in. Linda, love you always. Bye now.